Dorado has been shockingly chipper for a man without a win. Of course, when leading the championship, it's easy for him to see the upside to his astonishing consistency. Still on the hunt for that elusive victory, Canada might just provide him the chance. We'll see if he can do it today at the halfway point as we get ready to watch round 6 of the Lotus 49 Grand Prix Legend Series. And you'll see it all live here on the Global SimRacing Channel and the iRacing Esports Network. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is Ryan Walker. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Crackers Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Canadian Tire Motorsports Park really did see this car compete here. This historic combination deserves a little bit more attention, so why don't we head on down to our track guide. Welcome to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, or as most fans know it, Mosport. This circuit to the northeast of Toronto is a rarity in the world of racing today. Safety standards and the desire for more overtaking opportunities has caused most tracks to alter their layouts over the years. But Mosport is still exactly the same footprint as it was when it was built in 1961. A mere 11 turns, most of which are high-speed sweepers, are dispersed among 2.5 miles, or just shy of 4 kilometers. The only alterations to the turns have been to the runoff areas, but otherwise the radii, camber, and elevation changes are all untouched. Because cars have continued to get faster through the passage of time, it's made this place a fearsome beast to tackle. Clayton Corner is particularly notorious. The blind crest and steep plunge combined with incredibly high speeds to create a punishing combination. Without many heavy braking zones, passing is often difficult. And other than using the slipstream up the Mario Andretti Straight, the only other option is usually Moss Corner. This double apex hairpin is named after Sir Sterling Moss for his suggestion to redesign it after he saw its initial layout. While the plateau-like middle portion and critical exit onto the backstretch certainly give it plenty of character, the heavy compression at the bottom of the hill that causes a frighteningly short braking zone makes this one not for the faint of heart. Formula One, USAC, and IMSA have all taken their turns here, but recently NASCAR has joined the fray by holding a round for the Truck Series. Old school fans can rejoice for the enduring popularity of this bastion of untouched tarmac, but any motorsports enthusiast can't help but smile at the thrill Mosport continues to provide. I remember when the Lotus 49 was released, the first track that they set up for it was, of course, here at Mosport, since it's one of the few that is still the same layout that this car ran. So, Ryan, how is it going to handle with this combination?
Yeah, it's going to be very tricky, this combination, because it's you've got a few bumps around this 2.4 mile track, and yeah, it's got 10 turns, and yeah, it's going to be a tricky track, especially with this car. But a bit of history about the track as well. It was first built in the 1950s, but the first race wasn't held until 1961, believe it or not. And yeah, a few series I've visited here in the past or recently as well. The IMSA Sports Car Championship, the NASCAR Truck Series, and the FIM World Superbikes Championship, and also the old American Le Mans Series, formerly known as the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship now, and the old IMSA GT Championship. So about a series of, or quite a lot of series I've visited here in the past, and today it will be host to the Lotus 49 Series.
We have seen a lot of action of a variety of cars. Even NASCAR has competed here. Now, let's take a look at the championship. And as I mentioned, Dorado leading the way with a decent gap back to Uwe Trangerade, of all people. McLaren's not been, well, he's been having an up and down season. We'll put it that way. It's kind of all or nothing for him so far. And Rob Olenek is between Trangerade and Claridge right now, sitting in third, with Parigi back there holding on to the fifth position. What about the F2 championship? Sort of the amateur championship they have in this series, right?
So the F2 Championship is currently being led by Germany's Andre Schumacher, who's having a consistent season, I should say. But he's been closely followed by Finland's Jan Lehmann in second place. So it's still really close at the top between those two. And then you've got America's Dave Cohen in third place with a Japanese driver in the series. Good to see a Japanese driver in the series with Togo Hashida in fourth place. and France, Emmanuel Pereira in fifth, rounding out the top five.
For this series, they have what's called the Nations Cup. This is how they used to do the Constructors' Championship back in '67. So it is counted by country. Brazil leading, of course, with Dorado having all of those second places. But the UK is at least in second place. So Mick Claridge's three wins has helped them up into that second spot. Trangrade only able to bring Norway up into third. He's doesn't have too many people helping him in that realm. The U.S. and Finland a little bit farther down the order. Finland trying to get their way higher up. They have ways to go to make any spots here. Well, let's take a look at the race details, and just in case, Ryan, we have any new viewers.
Absolutely, and yeah, this is round 6, and we're just about halfway through the season already. Which is quite amazing because it was only yesterday the season was starting, and it's 27 laps today with it always being a standing start, and the setup as always is open, so you are free to make any changes, and the instant limit as always is 17x, so it will be a penalty, and if you get to 25x, you will be automatically disqualified from the race.
Now, before we get to the qualifying, if you're looking to take advantage of GSRC's over 1 million global monthly impressions, from official series sponsorships to commercial placements, we have advertising options customizable to suit your company's needs. Follow our link in the description below if you want to learn more about how you can get your company on the air. Right now in the qualifying, it is Mick Claridge actually who holds the pole position, but it is not by much here, Ryan. Half a tenth between himself and Dorado, and Dorado's just completed his second lap, and he's going to take the pole away. Still less than a tenth between them. Claridge comes to respond, but he does not go quicker. Ooh, this is looking even better, Ryan, now for Dorado to potentially finally get that win.
Yeah, absolutely. Rafael Dorados came so close on many occasions this season to taking his first one, but he's just slipped out of his hands. He came so close to winning at Imola last week, and unfortunately, Jamie Fluke beat him in the closing stages of the race, so Dorado had to again settle for second place. But I think this could be Dorado's best opportunity to take his first win, and at the moment, so far this season, he's doing really well, and he's my if it was to come down to picking a driver to take the championship, he would be my prediction.
Dave Cohen come across the line, getting himself on the board finally. This is Hideki Koivisto down in 19th. I'm also watching Schumacher because he's up to 5th. For being in the AM Championship, he certainly has quite a bit of pace, and it looks like he's not going to improve, so he'll stay in P5. Now we look to Colin Bentley, who's in 7th. Second lap not counting for him, so we'll have to settle for 7th.
Yep, absolutely. And at the moment, the surprise man in qualifying for me is Bill Tyler. He's he's been having a good season so far. He's always finished consistently well, but I think this at the moment is his best qualifying of the season. So good to see Bill doing well in qualifying, and also another driver I just noticed as well in fourth place is Yuri Geisen. So yeah, good qualifying from both of those drivers.
Schultz not able to go quicker on that second lap, so 21st for him. So we look a little farther down. This is Meyer. He's already completed both of his laps, so he's just getting a little bit of warm-up at this point. Cohen has got one last lap to try and get higher than 23rd. Can he crack into the top 20? Down into the line, it's a 17, 2/4 tenths faster, just on the edge of it. He goes to 20th with that lap.
Nice lap for him. As they're looking at Sebastian Texier as well, coming around to complete his qualifying lap into the final few corners, and probably one of the trickiest sections on the track from my experience. And Sebastian at the moment currently sitting in 9th, coming around the final corner, and it looks like I don't think he's going to improve. Nope, it doesn't look like it.
That is a slow lap for him, so must have had a major error, and you can see that one did not count, so seems he must have had an off track somewhere. Is that anybody else, or is that everyone? I think we've got everybody in. Kyle Reed, does he have enough time to get to the line? Yeah, it looks like he does. Just under a minute to go. So sitting in 25th with a 17.9. We are only lacking one person to put a lap in. David Lambie, he's not out on track, so he will not have time. He'll start from the back of the field, coming up into the S's. Very tricky in this car without much downforce on it as it swings back into turn 9 and then into White's corner, that last slow right-hander. See if he can improve in that 17.9 as he crosses the line. Nope, that one did not count for Kyle. Off track somewhere, must have nullified it. So that'll end our qualifying. Let's go through the starting grid with Dorado on the pole. And Mick Claridge will be starting next to him, trying to deny him once again. Bill Tyler starts in P3 with Yuri Giesen in 4th position. Andre Schumacher, good enough for 5th. Incredible. Paul Foster starts 6th today with Colin Bentley on the inside of the next row in 7th and Togo Hisada in P8. Sebastian Tixier will be in 9th and PJ Gowdy rounds out your top 10.
Finland's Marco Kikko will start in 11th. Alongside him is another Finnish driver, Jan Lehmann, with Wout Olsen in 13th. John Olsen will be in 14th. Alongside him in 15th is John Van Dorn, with Randy Hu in 16th. Mariko Gringsinger in 17th, with Chris Engler 18th. Heideki Koivisto in 19th. And rounding out the 20th is Dave Cohen.
Massa starts 21st today with Osmar Schultz in 22nd. Then you got Andrew Ang in 23rd, flanked by Andre Bruno in P24. Kyle Reed will be 25th, David Meyer 26th, and Doug Nelson in 27th. Jim McGill will be P28 today, followed by Jonathan Main in 29th. Richard Tucker in 30th. Last driver to put a time in was Brandon Robertson, and David Lampy, who we mentioned, will be slotted in at the back of the grid without a starting time today. As we wait for the rest of the drivers to find their way to the grid, there's only a couple left, and then we'll get going racing here for the halfway point of the Grand Prix Legends Series. Schumacher and Hangler, the last two. It looks like Hangler's found his way out there. Schumacher just making sure his setup is right for race conditions, which we'll go over in a little bit here, since we're getting ready to go pretty soon. Schumacher giving it as much time as possible, it seems, for this 27-lap race. Sees that open spot to the inside down in row 3. There he is. So that means we will hear the engines begin to rev as the lights come up. It's round 6 and green flag is out. It's a bad start for Bill Tyler, back in 3rd place, already being challenged by Giesen around the outside. Looks like he's going to be able to sneak that one away, almost out into the grass as Mick Claridge goes a little wide off the first corner. Still a bit of a challenge between Bill Tyler and Schumacher as he loses another spot. They're going to get through Clayton Corner solidly and seeing if anybody in the background goes off. But so far, so good. This is looking like a clean start, Ryan.
Yeah, just looking throughout the field as well, and it looks like there's no issues at the moment. Everyone's managed to keep it in one piece as we come down into Moss Corner, and Mick Claridge closes up right up on Rafael Durando under braking as they head down onto the back straight, and Mick Claridge is looking to be a lot closer now.
We had a first problem with Eugenio Massa coming down turn 4. Paul Foster off in Moss Corner. So a few issues, but our leaders so far so good, as Claridge has got great top-end speed catching up the Andretti straight to Dorado. And this battle that we're watching a little bit behind them between Schumacher and Tyler, who's desperately wanting to get back on the podium, and Schumacher's off. He comes back across the course, and poor Bill Tyler, a nightmare of a start as he gets wrecked.
Whoa, I thought Schumacher was going to spin round there when he went backwards and collided with another car. We've got a replay now of what happened, and yeah, just unfortunate. Schumacher, I don't know if he clipped that curve or if he got tagged from behind.
It looked like way too much curb to the inside. Man, Tyler has got to be wondering what happened there. And Giesen just lost his spot, actually. Colin Bentley moves into 4th place. So Tixier up into 3rd from all the chaos that we just witnessed. Nice start for him as well. an eye on Claridge, who's still within 3/10, and they are the class of the field. 5-second gap to anybody behind them already. We haven't even completed lap 2, Ryan.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I was looking at the gap to third place and the rest of the pack behind, and these guys have pulled away and built up a massive gap already. And we're, like you say, we're only on the second lap, so yeah, these guys are pretty much just dominating at the moment.
Drivers finding this very difficult. Jim McGill, we don't need to go to it. He had an off course up the Andretti straight. Oh, and Tixier. Did Tixier have a problem? He's in pit lane. It looks like he just drove it on in, so not sure if we... Here, yeah, you can see him do a halt. Well, this is bizarre. Maybe he forgot race fuel? Well, no, he's retired. I am a bit baffled as to what happened to Sebastian here, so we'll come back to that in a bit. Let's go to our leaders as Mick Claridge all over the back of Raphael.
Yeah, he's absolutely putting the pressure on Dorado at the moment, and Rafael Dorado, I don't think he's going to, maybe in the past, in the previous races so far this season, I don't think he's going to let Mick go by that easy, especially around Motorsport, because yeah, I think he wants a win so badly this season, and Mick Claridge tries to go around to the outside, but he can't do anything about it at the moment.
Got to be intense for Raphael, knowing that a win is on the line. An update, Colin Bentley got shoved from behind. I think it was from Togo Hisada. Don't need a replay on that. Both of them are able to get going once again. Let's stick with this battle as the yellow and black machine of Mick Claridge continues to hassle Raphael Dorado.
Oh,
can he hold it? He's got it. What a save from Mick Claridge. Up and over the crest of Clayton. Ryan, let's get a view of the onboard. Walk us through this.
Yeah, just watching Claridge's onboard, and it looks like he just lost the rear end under braking, and he manages to save it. And whoa, I think Claridge will have brown underpants after that.
Lost about a second, so he's got to make up some time now to get back to the gearbox of Dorado. Low, we got some problems with Olsen and Gowdy. Once again, down through turn 4, there's been multiple cars with issues here, and I think this started with Olsen. Well, he was slow into the corner. He's going to get hit from behind. Watch this. Ooh. Oh, that is a fast place to suddenly be climbing into the air.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for Gowdy. He had a great qualifying, and it's just basically just went downhill, literally. So, yeah, unlucky for those guys.
Head to 6th place, where it looks like Kika managing to overtake Hisada after a mistake into the S's. Hisada going a little bit wide. He was actually trying to attack John Olsen for 5th, and that has gone south for him. Oh, and that was Marco Kika, who just had the spot, and turn 1 proved a little bit too much. My goodness, there are a lot of loose cars today.
Yeah, look at the replay now. Looking at Marco Kika, he just loses the rear end in the middle of turn 1 and just unfortunately ran wide into the gravel and into the wall. And yeah, unfortunate, but it seems to be an easy track to make a mistake in, especially with this car, just because there's no aerodynamic. Yeah, he just wrecked again.
Yeah, I think he must have damaged the suspension or something on the car, because it just beelined straight for the as we're taking a look back at Olsen. Looks like he's got now Jamie Lehman just behind him. This is for 4th position. Excuse me, Janne Lehman. As they come up into the S's. The top spots behind the first 2 have been swapping around quite a bit here. We're on lap 6, and I think we've seen probably about 4 or 5 different cars amongst 4th and 5th position.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I'm just looking at the gap between the top 2 and basically go to 3rd place. As the battle for 7th place is going on at the moment.
Yeah, and Randy Huff, along with Van Dorn, Grissinger, Koivisto, Angler. My goodness, this goes a long ways back. Schultz, Ang, Bruno, Reed, Meyer, all the way down to 17th. This is 10 cars. There's a good view of how many of them are all packed together as they swing down into Moss Corner. Cohen leading the way, dealing with Randy Huff just behind. And our leader finds himself under threat once again. Was there a mistake from Dorado? Because Claridge has gone from a second back down to 3/10 behind.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look at my replay, and it looks like Dorado might have got slightly held up by a back marker on the exit of Moss Corner, so that's allowed Mick to close right up to him again. And Rafael Dorado, he's doing a good job at the moment and managing to keep his composure and not do anything too silly. As I say that, he gets a bit sketchy in the middle of turn 2.
I was, if I can get a word in edgewise, because so much keeps happening out here. We keep seeing cars slip out and get turned around in these corners, Ryan, but I'm looking at the temperature and it's not extreme. In fact, it's kind of right smack dab in the middle, only 82 degrees Fahrenheit today. So I'm a bit baffled as to what's causing so many errors.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm considering Motorsports an easy track to make a mistake, but the amount of mistakes I've seen from some of the drivers already is just unbelievable. So maybe it's just maybe being in a pack, it's causing a bit of a concertina effect, and drivers maybe just being caught out maybe by the carrying too much speed, especially in turn 1.
A little bit of lap traffic in front of our leaders. That's Paul Foster. I know that allowed Mick to catch up. Now, can it allow him to make a pass? That's been the difficult bit today, as there's not many good places for overtakes at this circuit. Starting lap 8 now, down and through turn 1. He's holding on and keeping himself in touch in case an opportunity arises.
Yep, absolutely. Claridge's doing a good job. And as the battle between Lehman and Hosada is still going on at the moment.
Looks like he just got by as he's going to try to get to the inside. Hosada is not able to do it down into turn 1. It's a fast sweeping right-hander through there. And then up and over Clayton, much stronger into the corner, too strong into the corner maybe. Lehman taking it all the way outside, nearly into the grass through turn 2.
Yeah, I thought he was going off into the grass there for a minute. He ran offline ever so slightly, but manages to get it back together and regroup and manages to stay ahead of Hashida.
And up ahead of them, that is Robertson. That's a lapped car, so that's not for position. He's going to try and stay out of the way. Definitely compromises both their lines, but seems nobody gets much of an advantage out of that interruption, and they continue on up the Andretti straight.
Yep, absolutely. Lehman starting to. I thought he was going to pull away, but it looks like Togo is closing back in on him as they head into the final few corners. As the battle for the lead between Dorado and Claridge is still going on at the moment, and again Dorado gets ever so sketchy in the middle of turn 2.
And they've already overtaken Foster, so they're clear of him. Doesn't seem to have allowed Claridge the chance that he was looking for. Out of Quebec and down into turn 4. They swing through here at about 130 miles an hour and then brake as it climbs back uphill into Moss Corner. The ever critical exit onto the Andretti straight. Dorado looking very clean. Look at the gap he's managed to pull over Mick Claridge at a critical moment.
Yeah, again, like I say, he's doing a great job of defending, and he's just made a gap ever so slightly. But Claridge is not letting him get away that easy. But I think if you're Dorado, it's kind of, you've just got to defend it, not defend like your life depends on it, but not make it easy for Mick to get by, because Dorado, he knows he's in contention for the championship, and also, as it looks like Allsmore has had a problem.
I think Schultz had a little bit of contact with a lapped car. You can see that's just after the contact there, and then he's going to go off here at turn 4. Yeah, it looks a little bit out of sorts, and as soon as he touched that grass, it was good night. Yeah,
that was unfortunate. He just went offline and caught the grass, and I don't know what he was doing. I was just watching his onboard. He was trying to keep his foot in it, and with this Lotus 49, if you try and keep your foot in it on the grass, you're just basically on a one-way ticket into the wall.
Down in 5th position, Lehman leading Hesada as they come over the crest into Clayton Corner. Once again, taking a very wide line. I know you square off that corner, but Yanni certainly looks like he is not afraid to flirt with the outer edge of the pavement. Getting close to halfway. So we're already into lap 10 here. Togo, who started this race in 8th, up 2 positions. But Lehman started in 12th, 7 spots up. And the car ahead of him has even more than that, as Olsen has gained 10 since the beginning of this race and got himself up into 4th. No chance for Hesada up into the S's for this time. Taking a look there. We've got 9th place still stacked up, being led by Cohen and Huff, who are starting to pull away from 9th, which is Michael Grissinger. This is the group that had Osmar that really got clogged up when they met up with Robertson trying to lap around him. Certainly didn't help many of the drivers out there. As I mentioned, there was some contact in the process of it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Dave Cohen as well. He started in 20th and he's up to 7th place, so he's gained a massive amount of places. And just looking behind these guys as well, like you say, there's a bit of a trend starting to form, and these guys are still close together. But Dave Cohen, fair play to him, from 20th to 7th. That's pretty much a hard charger of the race award at Iceman.
Taking a look at himself and Randy Huff. Huff is the 26, just sitting in behind him. Oh, was that a car off? Oh, that was Coivisto. Coivisto with a huge accident down the Andretti straight. And I think this is a perfect illustration of just how tough this portion of the course is in this car. Ryan, I know you and I are at least aware, but our audience might not understand how a straightaway can be difficult in a car like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially this car, it's not got any like aerodynamic downforce, so it's basically just down to the driver. And I think Coivisto might have just been caught out, maybe trying to take it full throttle, which was a big mistake. And he just loses his rear end and clips the barrier and rolls over.
Goes for a huge roll, and was that Massa potentially? Someone was in the wall as well after him. Must have been thrown off trying to take avoidance measures. Meanwhile, we come back to our leaders, and credit to Dorado. He's been holding off Mick Claridge this entire race despite pressure for nearly every lap. And for a moment, he had him back about half a second, but looks like Claridge has got it down to 2/10 once again.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dorado and Claridge have been trading fastest laps as well, so it just shows how much these guys are pushing. And fantastic battle between these two at the moment.
Another lapped car in front of them. It's Robertson again. Robertson gonna try and stay out of the way. Oh, nicely done by Brandon. Still gave a little bit of a scare to Dorado as he seemed hesitant down into turn 4. Claridge could have a little bit of a slipstream as they come up the hill. Both of them trying to keep fully to the floor on the throttle as they come over the hops and crests and the slight bends of the Andretti straight. He's gaining, defending to the inside. Dorado holds him off, and Claridge doesn't seem to have anything for him.
Yeah, I thought Claridge was going to throw up the inside there, but he's real close now, and Dorado defends the inside line into the final corner, and then Claridge gets a great run as Dorado gets a bit sketchy on the exit.
Ooh, a weave and a bob down to the inside. He's got the car beside him now. This is the best he's had thus far, and he is fully passed. Mick Claridge steals the lead away from Rafael Dorado, who was back to his familiar P2 spot.
Yeah, I think Dorado will be kicking himself for that little mistake, but he's trying everything to try and keep up with Mick, and I think it might not be a bad thing, Dorado being behind him. He might be able to use that slipstream to keep up with him.
Now, we've had some interesting stats happen over the course of this series, because we've covered it for multiple years now, and 4 seasons per year, you tend to rack up some odd ones. But never before have I seen a driver finish in the same position for 6 races in a row, the entire half of the season. Dorado is on course to do that at this point, unless he can overtake Mick Claridge. He's got a little bit of a run here up the Andretti straight, but I don't think there's anything serious ready to happen here. Now, worth noting, Ryan, I'm looking down the order. We've talked about all the cars that have had problems. I think we're down to something like 19 cars left at this point.
Yeah, round about that. It's quite amazing. There's been Motorsport is one of those tracks. If you make a mistake or get caught up in an incident, that'll bite you. And yeah, Motorsport proving once again that. Yeah, also the battle between John Olsen and Togo Hosada is going on at the moment. This is the battle for P4, I believe.
We'll see if there's been a mistake from John, or no. I think this is Togo just catching him up just by pace, because I'm not seeing anything super out of the ordinary from Olsen here. Well, that climb, taking advantage of other people's mistakes, has allowed Olsen the track position, but now he's got to be able to hold on to it, keep his pace up, and fend off the charging number 14 car. Out and towards Quebec. That is John Olsen in the number 17 that you see leading the pair. Just behind him, Hosada. Don't forget, even though they've dropped Lehman by about a second and a half, these two start fighting, it could become a 3-way battle pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Jan Lehman, he's you just see him in the background there on the exit of Moss Corner. If these guys get caught up or squabble amongst themselves, he'll be there to join the battle, and like you say, it'll be a 3-car battle sometime soon.
Olsen's just going to let him through. Hosada got the run down the Andretti straight. But even with that, Lehman did catch up to both of them. In fact, Lehman's already on the gearbox of Olsen. Right on board with Yanni as he stays in behind the number 17. Taking it all the way down to that inside wall next to the pit exit. And you can see how blind it is up and over Clayton. Car hopping as the suspension has so much travel in this old thing.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, it looks like pretty much the field spread out at the moment. They've still got the battle for the lead going on, and they've also got this battle for P4 going on as well, or basically P5 now, with Hosada starting to pull away. And yeah, young Lehman's right behind John Olsen now.
See if Olsen's going to be slow in a straight line yet again. Lehman gaining. He's going to have the slipstream. Thinking about the inside. Olsen covers him off at first, but comes back to the racing line. Lapped car ahead of them in the form of Robertson. Stays out of the way. Everybody's through cleanly.
Yeah, that was good awareness by Robertson. He managed to just stay wide and just let them through, and without any issues. And it was good heads-up driving by him.
Down to 14 cars left on the lead lap. Is the last of them. They're coming up to him pretty soon here. Oh, is Dorado got a run? Dorado's got a great run. This is going to cause a defense from Mick Claridge. Looking around the outside, touching the grass. Dorado having to hold on to it.
Oh, holy moly.
I both saw the same thing. I saw that car go a little wide, and I thought, oh no. But Rafael keeps disaster from wrecking his race and spoiling his second place finish streak. Up in front of them, John Main. He's going to stay off to the right side of the track, and this is not going to work out well for Dorado.
Yeah, and I just watched Max Claridge as well. He got sideways massively into turn 2, and somehow he managed to save it, and it's allowed Dorado again to close right up. And Dorado's starting to realise now he's got to try and basically put up a fight to try and get by Mick, because Mick Claridge, he might be in front, that he's not pulling away like I thought he would.
That's Massa in front of them. Let's see if Claridge is able to get by here. Yep, he's just going to pull off to the side. And this time they're separated by a lot more, so Dorado without an opportunity up into turn 8. Also, let's stay here, but I want to give a quick mention to a driver that deserves it. Yuri Giesen, who started in 4th and had a little bit of issues at the start, has managed to hold on to 3rd, but he's very much all in a lonesome world. 26 seconds in front of him and 12 seconds behind him, so no cars to fight for Yuri. There you see him on screen in the number 7.
Yeah, Yuri's been improving as the season's going on. It's good to see him being awarded for consistency at the moment in the top 3, and he's very much a driver I like to. Mick Claridge again. He's still under massive pressure from Rafael Dorado.
Thing that you can say is that they seem to be close on pace. So this is certainly a head-to-head fight, not a matter of someone holding up the other, but who is the better man today as they come out of Moss Corner. They've got Jim McGill up in front of them. He's many laps down. He had the accident early on. Down to 9 laps to go. They're ticking away very, very quickly here.
Go ahead. I was just going to say they're just coming around the final few corners now, and Dorado again, he's really, really close now, and this is probably the closest he's ever been so far.
We've seen it's so tough to try and overtake, though. Lap traffic has been very polite, hasn't offered too much in the way of chances. In fact, so polite that Jim McGill's going to go all the way off course to let them through Clayton. So clear track ahead once again. Down and through Quebec. Mick Claridge on 3 wins out of the 5 rounds. Missed out in Imola, and he missed out at Laguna Seca. The win at Laguna went to Uwe Trangrade, of all people. You can really see the car bounce and hop over the crests as they come up the hill and then down the hill. This is the battle for 5th. Hisada leaving them behind. It's about 1.3 seconds up to him at this point, but Olsen's holding on. Lehman, who has caught him, in fact, caught him very quickly after Togo got by, has not been able to do anything with it, just been kind of plugged up.
It's come up to the Mario Jetty straight away now, and it looks like Lehman might get a run now as he's trying to take a look.
Let him through. I think that's just an admission of defeat there from Olsen. As now that he got the better run, Yanni is up into the top 5. Still, I mean, no wonder, like I said, Olsen started in 14th. And the way that he has climbed forward, he's still going to be in 6th spot. This will be a big day for the number 17 car. That big pack that we were watching earlier is really broken up. Huff and Cohen are still for 7th place, which is what we see on screen right now. Let's stay here, but I can tell you that Van Dorn and Olsen are the only 2 others that are even close to each other among a group of what was 10 cars that were fighting at one point.
Yeah, it seems to be the usual thing with Motorsport. That's everyone's close together, and then as the race goes on, the pack seems to break up. But Cohen's really close now, and it looks like he might try and make a move into Moss Corner. But I thought he was close, but he doesn't seem to be close enough.
Still keeping the pressure on. Huff right in the mirrors. Oh, a little bit of net code maybe, or was that just Cohen getting loose? Huff has to check up. And Grissinger is going to have a good shot at overtaking now.
Yeah, it might. Oh,
Maybe not. Grissinger backed out of that one when he thought he was going to get squeezed off the corner. And, well, they've come back together again. That was Olsen behind them, overtaking Van Dorn for position. 5 cars now suddenly very close, led by, well, once again, Dave Cohen.
yeah, and that all started on the exit of Moss Corner when Cohen just got a little bit, either it had a little bit of contact or just got sideways. And again, look at the pack. It's a bit, looks like it's a 4-car battle now.
Could almost call it a 5-car battle here. Van Dorn can catch up. He seems to lack a little bit of pace. Grissinger behind them going defensive down into Quebec as Laust Olsen had a bit of a look. How far away? You know what? There's going to be a huge wrench thrown into things pretty soon here, Ryan. Well, as definitely a wrench of its own. That was Randy Huff going off in Moss Corner, loses a whole heap of spots, falls down to 11th. What I was going to say is that our leaders are coming up to the back of this group pretty soon.
And I'm amazed that Huff never. I'm amazed that Huff never wiped another car out. That was a heart and mouth moment.
There's our 2 leaders. That battle rages on in the midst of that group, this time with Grissinger and Olsen with a little side-by-side. I think it's only going to be maybe a lap and a half before we get the top 2 starting to interrupt things. And then it's one thing to be patient when you're back marker not fighting anybody, but I mean, are these guys going to be willing to hold off and let the leaders through?
That's a bit of a difficult one. I mean, if you're in a battle, you don't want to give way and lose too much time. But on the other hand, you don't want to hinder the leaders. But it's a tough situation to be in.
Still Laust Olsen in the yellow machine, challenging for 8th place with Grissinger. As they come down through turn 4, braking at the compression at the bottom of the hill. Back up over the crest into Moss Corner. And then onto the Andretti straight. The thing is, Cohen's loving this. The more those 2 battle behind him, the bigger a gap it gives him ahead. And the less pressure he feels, Grissinger is going to feel the pressure as Olsen gets the run. Up the Andretti straight, side by side and around the outside. Laust Olsen now up to P8.
Yeah, that was a nice move by Olsen. He managed to get by Michael, and I think Laust is the quicker driver, so he'll probably start going away now. And the next person in front of Olsen, it looks like, is going to be Dave Cohen.
At the pace to race down the number 19. And to complicate things even further, we're down to 3 laps to go. So if our leaders catch these guys on the last lap, that is going to be wild. There is Mick Claridge. You can see just hints of the pack in front of them now. It's 2 storms coming together.
Absolutely, and it'll be interesting to see what the back markers do. Like you asked, will they give way or will they not make it as easy? I think this is the back markers is the only chance that Rafael Dorado's got if they close back up to Claridge, because Claridge at the moment just seems to be controlling the pace. But again, Rafael Dorado seems to get a better exit on Moss.
Wilson's starting to come forward. Up to Dave Cohen. He's got it down to 0.4 of a second. He seems to have much better pace. Oh, but he sends it in way too deep, and he's off course at the S's rather. He holds onto it, but he allows Grissinger through, saves it. I'm not sure how. I thought for sure for the barriers.
Just look at the replay now to see what happened to Olsen. He just missed the turn and just went offline ever so slightly. Caught the grass ever so slightly as well, but manages to keep going.
Drivers go off there and unfortunately wreck other cars themselves, as now we must focus on the top 2. They truly are at the back of the pack at this point. That's John Van Dorn ahead of the yellow and black car of Mick Claridge. They come up towards turn 4 here. And he's going to be let to the inside. Oh, but he clips the curb, has to catch it. Dorado can't take advantage. In fact, he's going to be held up at the second apex, so it comes out even.
Yep, and if I'm Rafael Dorado, you've got to be so frustrated because every chance you've got of closing back up to Claridge, it just seems to be compromised because of back markers. But it's just one of those racing deals.
Turn 8 and 9. Now into White's corner as the white flag is waiting for Mick Claridge for him to claim victory number 4. Yet more cars that they need to lap. They really will be trying to overtake them on the final lap of this race. Olsen up in front of him. Olsen's not hopping out of the way very quickly. So far, he's not holding him up, though, Ryan. And there it goes. Looks like he's going to stay off to the side. Claridge gets through, but Dorado does not. That could be race over.
Could be. And Dorado again just caught a back marker in the wrong place at the wrong time. And it's I think from here on in, it's just a case of Mick getting it round to the start finish, and the race win is his.
Dorado's by. Claridge has the couple more. That's Grissinger up in front of him. He's going to pull off, and I think he motioned for him to go by. Yep, there he goes. So there's 1, and there's 2, but Dorado's going to get stuck. Oh, man, the racing god's just not smiling on poor Rafael, who is going to get second place yet again for the 6th time in a row as Mick Claridge wins today from P2 on the grid. Geeson, a distant 40 seconds behind. But the P7, or the number 7 car rather, is going to probably still be appreciative of coming home with a podium. Really no other battles to go as we were lapped up to 6th place. This is a short track, but I didn't expect it to have that many cars go a lap down in 20. So as we have Geeson come across and take his 3rd, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with the official results as well as driver interviews. Stick around. Welcome back to Mosport, more formally known as Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Just held round 6 here in the Grand Prix Legends Series, and Mick Claridge gets win number 4 on the season, trying to catch up to the man leading the championship, but has taken second place at every race, including today, Rafael Dorado. Yuri Giesen rounds out the podium with Togo Hisada. This is one of the drives of the race for me, up from 8th to 4th. Yanni Lehman behind him from 12th to 5th. Followed by an incredible climb and finishing on the lead lap for John Olsen from 14th to P6. And then how about Dave Cohen? He may have finished a lap down, but he started in 20th spot and finished in 7th. Michael Grissinger was behind him in 8th position. You've got Laust Olsen coming home 9th and John Van Dorn rounding out your top 10.
Finishing in 11th after starting in 23rd was Andrea, and 12th was Andreas Bruno, with 13th going to Eusino Massa. 14th was Douglas Nelson, Paul Forster in 15th. 16th was Brandon Robertson, Randy Hoffman 17th. 18th, Colin Bentley 19th, Kyle Reid, and finishing in the top 20 was Chris Hengler.
For all drivers that had big problems, went in, got some repairs, and tried to finish. Main, Meyer, Schultz, McGill, Gowdy, Coivisto was the first of our DNFs, and from there on down, this is drivers that did not see the checkered flag. We've got our winner ready to talk to us. Mick, you started in second, but you held on, and it seems like you just were waiting for that opportunity to pounce.
Oh, Joe, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, mate, I'm shaking. I never had any rhythm in that race whatsoever. It might have looked like I was just waiting to pounce. I was pushing as hard as I could. Rafael's been quick all week. We've had a few races. We had quite a lot of races this week, and Rafael's won most of them. So I knew it was going to take a lot to beat him today. I think he struggled at the start. He was making a few, not major errors, just small errors. And so I was sort of, getting to the sort of thought that I could push and maybe give him some hell, today. And mate, that pass on the front straight, I've never done that in my life. I've never done that in this car. I thought I was going to wipe him out for sure. I didn't think I'd get across the back of his car without missing him, So sorry for being that close to him. I really thought we was going off there.
It certainly took us by surprise as well, and I'm sure Rafael too. You're a bit all or nothing this season. You've got 2 zeros and then nothing but 50s in your column. Is that a trend that's going to continue, or what's going on here?
Yeah, it's very strange, isn't it? I don't know what's going on. It's, to be honest with you, it's been one of the hardest seasons in terms of trying to win. Because I actually think, if Michel was here now racing with us, he would be struggling with us as well. He wouldn't be disappearing off into the distance, because I've never practiced so hard in my life on iRacing to win. I've done another, 250, 300 laps this week, and they've all been good, productive practice laps where you actually get somewhere with your setup. And me and Rafael have been sharing the VRS data, so we're looking at each other's laps the whole week from when before the track opens. So we're really putting in some hours, so I don't even know what you asked me.
Okay, well, unfortunately, the little birdie tells me this might be it for the season for you, though, that you're taking off. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Got a few things in my life going on, and it might mean putting the rig away. I'm going to try and be able to race. Hopefully I can still do it. It's not a certainty yet, so I'm not sure.
We hope for the excitement that we've been seeing that we do get you back for some more. Again, congratulations on the victory, Mick, and looking forward to talking to you later on.
Yeah, cheers, Joe.
Mick Claridge, our winner here today. And then we've got Ryan Walker with Rafael Dorado again in P2.
Yeah, Rafael, but I've asked it before. It must be frustrating being the bridesmaid and finishing in second place after coming so close to a win. Your first one's got to happen at some point, right?
Yeah, I can say I'm happy with second place again, but on the other hand, Mick is a really great rival, and as he said in his interview, we are pushing each other hard. And I think every goal that you set for yourself it's more rewarding if it is really difficult. So I am happy in a way that it's really difficult to win a race against Mick, because when I do, it's gonna feel even better. But so far, what I can tell you is that I still need to improve if I want to win. I'm still not at the top of my game, and I will try working harder. I hope Mick can continue this season because I have had so much fun so far. So the goal is to work even harder than I've been working so far to see, when I can finally beat Mick Claridge.
I mean, you guys were real close together for most of the race, and yeah, it seemed to be you have the race under control and you were managing to keep Mick behind, but it looked like you might have made a slight mistake onto the home straight. Was that the case, or was just did Mick get the better run?
I don't know how much it was people could see in the broadcast, but this was one of those overtakes that was set up on the back straight. So actually, I think Mick set it up after Moss corner. He got a better run than I did, and also there were a few back markers, if I remember correctly, that were not bad but distracting. So he got a better run, and that made me brake way too late, I think, for the S's, and then I had to defend going into the last corner, and that put me in a compromised position for the front straight. I tried to cover the inside. I thought he was going for the outside, but then at the last minute, he put it on the inside. So it was really, it was not an easy move for any driver to make, and I don't think many drivers could have executed an overtake as well as he did. So, congratulations to Mick, because that was, for me as a fan of motorsport, that was really impressive.
Yeah, and looking ahead to next week, you finished in second place, but again, I think anyway, a win for you. The one for you, your first one will happen at some point. It's just a matter of being patient. And looking at to next week, we head to Belle Isle, Detroit. Is that a track that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I never driven there before. It's gonna be a new one, but from what I checked out about the layout, and I was watching people streaming races there during the week, so I can start to learn the layout. It seems to be a really fun track. It seems to be a track where it's gonna be very easy to crash, maybe because of all the walls. And I have the advantage that I still have 2 drop weeks in the championship that I haven't used, and Mick hasn't used any. So in a way, I can take way more risk than he does, even though I don't think this matters too much to him. Which means that in the following races, I will try to be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more daring to try to get the win.
Good stuff. Well, again, congratulations on second place, Raphael, and we'll look forward to seeing you on track at Belle Isle next week.
All right, thanks for the broadcast, guys. Thank you very much.
As I believe up next, Joe, you've got the third place finisher, Yuri Geisen, next to you right now.
Yeah, Yuri, welcome in from the wilderness. It looked like it was kind of lonely for you out there.
Yeah, that was not expected, especially not with the action in the first few laps. And I'm glad I qualified as far forward as I did, I suppose.
It looked like you had a few troubles at the start that sent you backwards, but then it was repaid just by keeping it clean. Was that your approach, for most of the race, just kind of keeping it on the tracks after seeing so many people fall by the wayside?
Oh yeah, actually, I took my Joker lap early on, and then after that it was like, okay, I got a gap, and after a few laps I noticed I could get away without really pushing it. So I felt like, okay, if I just do these 16 laps, these 16 116s all the time, then I'm probably gonna be able to do this. Just so I kept with that, and then I think I reminded myself of that about 20,000 times during the race, because I tend to wander off with my thoughts. So it was kind of a mental challenge.
I totally feel you on that. I have that same problem. What do you think caused all these issues today? We were even commenting that we were baffled as to why so many cars were spinning and having issues.
Yeah, it's a track. I think it's a really difficult track to to get the car on. You really have to sort of feel how it settles and keep it going in the turn. And it's just so easy to apply the throttle a little bit too soon in one of those long corners, or to break into it too fast, and it's just nothing you can do then. So it's really about taking it easy and controlling the car through a corner, and it's just more difficult than I've had it, for example, at Watkins or well, most other tracks that I've been at. It's a real challenge, this one.
Again, congratulations on a podium today. Is there anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to all the people that have joined in the last few weeks. It's great to see so many new people and new faces, and I hope they stay. And obviously, to you guys for broadcasting again. It's been great so far. I love watching these races.
Coming and talking to us, Yuri Geisen, finishing in third here today. That's going to close us out with, of course, a thank you to the Lotus 49 community for bringing us back for another season of coverage. Also, a thank you goes to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcasts that are listed here on your screen. And along with them, thanks to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. Thanks to the team today, Ryan, Sean, and Doug. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. Or you can check out our social media, which includes Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook, Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. If you'd like to support us, check out our merchandise store, linked in the description below, gsrc.storeenvy.com. And while you're there, make sure and subscribe to the channel. The next race, as we mentioned, heading over to Detroit. That'll be Saturday, October 31st. Spooky day for a scary track. That'll be at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. We have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar, including, coming up in just a couple hours, the Camel GT Series goes to Mid-Ohio. That'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern. Until next time, race clean, race hard. We'll see you on the track.